I'm Jacqueline Bunn, and you're not going to want to miss a minute of this informative segment of Legally Speaking. Legally Speaking is being brought to you by the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, also known as GABWA. GABWA is a voluntary bar association that seeks to advocate for women and children and empower our community. Now, this show is not intended to provide legal advice. If you believe you have a legal issue, it's always important that you consult an attorney. For the last 9 years, I've had the awesome privilege of serving as host of Legally Speaking and providing viewers with information that hopefully was helpful. Hosting the show has been a dream come true for me. But this year, I began to serve GABWA in a new way, as Vice President. So, to kick off our new season, two new hosts are going to take the helm. I'd like to introduce the viewers to Sonia Brown and Kenya Johnson. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. We are excited to be here.
Absolutely. Jacqueline, you've left such a great legacy with the show. We look forward to continuing the good works of Legally Speaking.
Well, I'm expecting great things from both of you.
And we are expecting great things for you as you move on to serve GABWA as Vice President and hopefully moving on to even bigger positions from the Vice Presidency. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for GABWA over the 9 years and what you'll continue to do for GABWA over the next 20 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, after the break, you're going to meet GABWA's current president and the president from 2011 as we talk about the celebration of GABWA's 30th anniversary. And we'll also talk about what's in store for the next 30 years. Please stay with us. There's so much more to share on Legally Speaking.
Save the date, Saturday, July 21st, 2012, and join GABWA and the GABWA Foundation for its annual Glitter Gala and Auction, a summer's night in Paris. The gala and auction will be held at the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Atlanta. All proceeds from the Glitter Gala and Auction benefit the Foundation's long-standing award-winning programs. The GABWA Foundation is a 501c3 organization and was founded in May 1983 to facilitate GABWA's charitable and educational activities. Welcome back to Legally Speaking. I'm Sonia Brown. Kenya and I are so excited to be the new hosts of Legally Speaking, and again, we just want to thank Jacqueline Bunn for the great service she provided as the host of Legally Speaking for the past 9 years, and we're hoping we can live up to the great legacy that she's left for us.
Well, also joining us today is GABWA's 2012 president, JaDawnya Butler, and the immediate past president, Jamala McFadden. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Let's begin with the first 30 years of GABWA. Tell us why GABWA was founded.
GABWA was founded for a number of reasons. Chief among them, we were founded to provide a community for African American female attorneys. We were also founded to be a voice and an advocate for women and children, and to take a stance on political issues, and also to increase the representation of Black females on the judiciary and in public office.
Definitely a great mission. One of GABWA's prominent members, Judge Yvette Miller from the Georgia Court of Appeals, spoke at the 30th anniversary luncheon about GABWA's mission. Let's hear from her.
We are celebrating GABWA's marquee legacy of service and leadership. 33 years ago, 3 vibrant young women who are just as vibrant today as they were then had a vision of empowering women in the legal profession and the community at large. As you can see, their vision has truly come to fruition through their dedication and their hard work. GABWA's mission is to nurture, support, galvanize the power of Black women attorneys as advocates for women and children, and to empower our communities.
You know, Judge Miller just talked about GABWA's mission, and it is a huge mission, a great mission. Tell me, ladies, how is it that we're living up to it? How are we nurturing, supporting, and galvanizing the power of Black women attorneys, advocating for our communities, and empowering women and children?
Well, you said it best. The first part, the most important part of our mission is to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys. And we have done that for 5 years now through our Professional Development Academy, which was founded by past President Joy Lampley Fortson in her year, rather. And that's a program in which we teach young law students and also students out of law school for up to 5 years on everything it is to be an attorney. That's what we do to make sure that we are the best and the brightest in our field. Also last year, under Jamala's leadership, we founded the Judicial and Public Office Academy. This is important because it's exactly why we were founded. We were founded to make sure that we were sharpened and prepared to be in positions of leadership, whether they're elected positions, whether they're judgeships. We wanted to make sure that our members were prepared. So that's how we're making sure that the first part of our mission is being lived up to. And the second part, I'm not sure if Jamala wants to speak to, you're welcome to. The second part of our mission, advocating on those issues that affect Black women and children.
I'll add another important piece of what we do, and that is to serve the community. Okay. We are Black women attorneys, and we have such a tremendous responsibility in our communities. One, to remain visible, but also support where we can. Advocating for women and children is a part of that. In 2011, we had a community service initiative, which we called 30 Acts of Service, and we partnered with a number of community organizations to, like I mentioned before, make sure we are visible so that young people can see people who look like them, who are attorneys, who are judges, who are practicing in a number of different legal fields. So that has been very important to the work that we do.
Another piece of that, if I may, another piece of that which we're really proud of is through our foundation, Sister to Sister, our program in which we make sure that we're mentoring young women who have entered the criminal justice system for the first time. That is such an integral point to enter into a young woman's life and mentor them for an entire year, forge a relationship, teach them life-altering skills to really bring them back to the center of the road, along with our scholarship program for young women attorneys, or young women rather, who are in law school, making sure that we are able to support them and make sure that they're able to complete their legal education without any financial concern. So these are all ways that we tie together all the prongs of our mission and make sure that we're doing what we were created to do.
Definitely an honorable mission. Jamala, as a past president, tell us about GABWA's founders.
We have 3 founders. Justice Leah Ward Sears, she is retired from the Supreme Court of Georgia. Barbara Ann Harris, who's a judge on Atlanta Municipal Court, and Benzanetta Tipton Lane, who is a judge on Fulton County Superior Court. Now, they all happen to be judges or retired judges now, but when they started, and this really speaks well to what we have been saying about our foundation, they were not judges then, but they definitely realized the importance of having this community of Black women lawyers and all of the power and good work that we can do if we are pulled together.
And in 2011, GABWA celebrated its 30th anniversary, and we talked about GABWA's 3 founders. 30 years has passed since they started off as young attorneys, and they're now judges and retired judges. What's their involvement? Are they still involved in GABWA?
Yes.
GABWA is their baby.
That's right.
They love GABWA. They love to mentor and nurture young lawyers, and so they are very visible. Not only our 3 founding members, but our founders, but our founding members are, our past presidents are. We have a lot of support from the community, both lawyers in the community and also law firms and legal employers.
Absolutely. Well, tell us, why is it important to be a member of GABWA?
Well, it's important to be a member of GABWA, especially as a woman of color and practicing law in this state. It's important because many of us did not come from homes and families filled with attorneys, filled with judges. I know for me, I did not. I was the first lawyer in my family. Becoming a part of GABWA allowed me to graduate into a family filled with attorneys and judges and people who've done it for so long. And to be nurtured by them, to be taught by them, it makes a real difference. It really does. Also for law students, it makes a difference. To participate in the programs that we offer to law students had the benefit of mentorship from people that have been practicing for a substantial amount of time. And then for our associate members, those who are not attorneys, those who maybe did not go to law school and don't have any aspirations to do any of the above, but want to be aligned with a very strong and powerful mission like GABWA's mission. So the benefits are plentiful. Aside from the academies and the legal education that we offer, is the relationships, the opportunities to serve in our communities, to serve one another's. We just named our founders who are judges and retired judges, opportunities to serve on historic campaigns and to help one another accomplish our goals. And that is just beyond anything that you can do in most other associations. And I think that's very unique to GABWA.
Well, let's hear from some of our founders and early members about GABWA and what they have to say.
Obviously, there were no black judges even on the bench when I started with, on the U.S. District bench, when I started with the U.S. Attorney's Office. I had a nickname that was given to me by some of the attorneys in the office as Queen Bee, and that's because they knew I would sting back. So I didn't suffer, I didn't suffer as much. I did regret, though, when people would ask me, well, who's your favorite judge? And I always had to say Judge Murphy, because I never had an opportunity to practice before an African-American judge.
When you got this organization together, what did you want it to do? I mean, other than being not lonely.
Right.
What did you really want it to do?
Well, for me, I wanted a cadre of friends to alleviate my loneliness. I'm just kidding. But I think what the biggest thing is I wanted an organization unlike the other organization that took stances, that moved things, that didn't look at things and, make polite responses. I wanted an organization that would actually make it a real difference, and I'm really proud that GABWA has. I mean, that would support candidates and tell some people, I'm not going to support you, or say things, actually believe things, and push the ball forward.
I wanted us to speak, and one of the things that I wrote the mission statement, the original one.
Sure
I think it got changed.
Oh my God. It was a revolutionary really, you should see it.
But one of the things it said in there was, well, I'm sure it's been toned down a little bit, but one of the things that was in there was a voice for the voiceless. And I think one of the things that we've done to follow that is legally speaking. I mean, there's so many examples in the African American community, such as these grandmothers now that are raising children, and they don't and a lot of them don't have the tools to do the legal stuff that you need to do to back up their guardianship or their custody or whatever. And that was the kind of thing that I envisioned GABWA supplying is, the black community will have that kind of access to knowledge about what needs to be done in these situations.
And I think I wanted just to network, because I knew a lot of black women attorneys just from being a law clerk in Superior Court where lawsuits are filed. Of course, a lot of them were with legal aid, but I knew these women were wonderful people, and I wanted everybody to know how wonderful they were. If we had an organization where we could showcase them, and they could form a speakers bureau, give parties, of course.
Please join GABWA this month for one of its many sponsored events. Welcome back. On today's show, we're talking about GABWA and its 30th anniversary. We have with us the 2012 president, JaDawnya Butler, and the 2011 past president, Jamala McFadden. Jamala, please tell us about the events commemorating GABWA's 30th anniversary that were held in 2011.
Well, in 2011, we had our grand celebration. We were so excited to celebrate 30 years of black women lawyers impacting the community in the state of Georgia broadly. We mentioned already a couple of the projects that we had last year. One was the 30 Acts of Service, where we partnered with various community organizations to really make an impact in the community. We also had a gala. We annually have a gala. Our gala is July 21st this year at the Ritz. But that was a great event to showcase the wonderful work that we've done and present awards. And a highlight of the gala in 2011 was our sister-to-sister young women that JaDawnya spoke about earlier. We treated them to something a little bit different. They came out, they got dressed with us, hair and makeup done, and really treated them to a different experience, and they really appreciated it. So that was very, very fun. We also had an anniversary conference, and we've seen some clips today from the conference. Part of that was a town hall meeting where we invited stakeholders in the community, including Andrew Young and people from the school board and the city council, to talk about issues that are important in our community, the Black community in particular.
Just want to ask real quick, Jamala, your theme last year, I really liked. Each year, president has a theme for their year and how they want their year to sort of flow. And you chose some very distinct words. In particular, very particular in choosing the words that you chose for your theme. Tell us about that.
Well, the theme for 2011 was galvanized to serve, committed to lead. Galvanize is so powerful to me. It says to me all that GABWA can do if they're galvanized, if they're brought together, if we are ignited. There is no stopping, as I said last year, a galvanized GABWA. And the leadership and service components are key tenets to what we do as an organization. We've talked about the service work that we've done, and also leadership. We're expected and called upon to be leaders, not only in the law, but in our churches, in our communities, in our families, and other businesses. And so I wanted to have us really focus on leadership and service and all of the value that GABWA has to bear in those areas.
We've had a sneak peek at the last 30 years of GABWA. JaDawnya, tell us what you have in store for the next upcoming year, 2012.
I'm very excited about the next 30 years of GABWA. Our theme this year is more of a charge because I wanted it to be something that we thought of actively, and all that we did. It is to advance our purpose, empower our present, and advocate for our future. If we're always thinking about those things, if we're always thinking about our purpose and keeping it close to our heart, we remain galvanized to serve. We also are always aware of where we are, the moments that we live in. Jamala spoke a moment ago about the need to still yet diversify our local county courts and our federal courts. If we are empowering our present, we are aware of those issues, and we're doing things to advocate for our future, which is the next prong of this year's charge. Those are things that I think will take us well into the next 30 years. If we constantly remain aware and committed to those issues, committed to not only being the leaders in advocating, but also educating, we'll always have something that we are going to need to advocate on and educate our neighbors and sisters and fellow attorneys on. And I think it'll just take us a very long way.
Let me ask you this, ladies. I'm listening to both of your themes. I'm listening to about the first 30 years. I'm listening about the next 30, hope the next 50, 60 years of GABWA. And it almost seems as if there was a handoff. I mean, your themes almost mirror each other. It's always about moving. They're very active words, very active themes. Is that how GABWA exists? I know there are a lot of organizations that are about the president that year.
Right.
And it has a distinct mark of that president. And while every president in GABWA leaves their mark, it seems that it's more about the organization than the actual personalities. Is that so?
You're right. That's exactly how it is. We had a conversation not long ago, a couple of months ago, and I was talking about geese, right? And the fact that they fly in this V formation. And they do that because in flying together, they actually increase their power by 70+%. Likewise, GABWA, when we join our efforts together, when we are concerted in our efforts and our goals and in our directions, we increase our power by doing that together. And therefore, it's not just based on the president, it's based on our identified goal, where we want to see ourselves going. And we decided that back in 1981 when we laid down our foundation, when we laid down our mission, and that's not going to change. What we will have is presidents that will come in with wonderful ideas and programs to expound on that foundation, but we will always be collectively together going in the same direction and increasing our power by joining our efforts to go in that same direction.
And that's why we were founded.
Exactly.
Well, what a great analogy in regard to your leadership goals for the organization. Flying in a geese-like formation is something to strive for, and we look forward to seeing what you have in store. Let's hear from some past founders about their wishes for future lawyers in the next 30 years in GABWA.
Well, what I would like to leave with the young women in the audience is please pay it forward.
Right, and I would say what I wish for the younger attorneys is do not limit yourselves. Every president has had something new, something marvelous to add on to GABWA. When you look in our program and you see the 30, 32, 33 programs that have been established over the years, you look at it and you're just in awe. How can they do all of this? But it's because they do pay it forward.
We just heard from our three amazing founders, women who have poured in blood, sweat, and tears in making sure this organization grows and it thrives. And we're talking about 30 years before, when they started this organization. GABWA was real relevant then. You mentioned that there weren't a lot of young black female attorneys. 30 years later, is GABWA still relevant first to attorneys that are joining? And then secondly, is it even relevant for the community to have an organization like this?
Absolutely. I like to say that I grew up in GABWA. I met GABWA 12 years ago as a junior in college, and I was not thinking about going to law school. And I met a past president, a GABWA past president at the time, that would come to my school to mentor, to encourage, to galvanize young students to become lawyers. And that is extremely relevant, as it was then and it is now, to encourage young women and young men to become attorneys, to become leaders, and most importantly, public servants. That need will never be eradicated. Also, the need to just encourage others in our community. We will always have issues in our community that we need to advocate on, that we need to educate on, that we need to be proactive and then reactive on. That's never going to stop. And the need to be able to support our community and just empower our community in whatever area that it is, we'll always have that need. And so I can never see GABWA's mission becoming stale or irrelevant. If anything, I think that it continues to grow. As we continue to have new accomplishments, it makes us want to strive for more as we move forward. And the 30 years that we've had have been so powerful and so meaningful and so encouraging. It makes us want to widen our fingerprint from the city to the state and even further. So I can always see GABWA having great relevance.
So is it safe to say that GABWA led you to the law?
Absolutely.
Wow.
GABWA led me to the law, just supported and loved me all through law school, came out and helped me accomplish my first jobs, open up my own firm, whatever my goals were, whatever questions I had, the support that I found in this organization has just been unmatched. I've never met women leaders, men leaders, like those that I've met in our association. And it's just downright contagious, and it makes a difference, and it makes you want to do the same for other people, and it makes you want to reciprocate within the organization rather, to make sure that everyone is feeling that same support.
Talk about relevance.
Yeah.
I think as a testament to the fact that GABWA is still very much relevant, in the past 5 or 6 years we have doubled in membership, for example.
Wow.
Yes.
We still have a lot of work to do, and as some of our past presidents have said, so long as there are little black girls who want to grow up and be attorneys and judges, we will still have a job to do. We still very much advocate for women and children. We've got a lot of work to do in diversifying or helping to diversify the benches in Georgia and the federal bench in particular.
Well, ladies, I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation like you. I just live and breathe GABWA, and I'm enjoying this very much. But we are going to talk about the 30th anniversary and all the celebrations that we had, and you came off a whirlwind year. So we will be right back after these words, and looking forward to hearing more about GABWA. Please join GABWA this month for one of its many sponsored events. Welcome back to Legally Speaking. Again, I'm Sonia Brown here with Kenya Johnson, and we are excited about being the new hosts of Legally Speaking, and hope that you will continue to join us as we explore so many of the wonderful topics that we're looking forward to presenting and talking to you about. But Kenya, are you excited about what we just learned about GABWA?
I am, and it's an exciting future for GABWA as well.
Yes, and I think that GABWA has no place but up to go. And we've laid a foundation, we've laid a fabulous foundation. You've heard of everything from our scholarships to our Judicial Public Academy to our Professional Development Academy to all of the community service work that GABWA does, and all of, I think what's most important to me, all of the efforts that GABWA puts into the community. It's not just about being attorneys, it's not just about making money, it's not just about being about ourselves. We're about business, and we're about putting back into the community. So I can't say enough about GABWA.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I must remind you, this show is not intended to give legal advice. And should you have any legal concerns, it's important for you to seek the advice of an attorney.
And in addition to that, we would love to hear from you. So we want you to send us your feedback or send us questions. So if you have any questions or feedback, please email us at legallyspeaking@gmail.com, or you can call us on the Voice of GABWA at 678-825-5675. And for more information about GABWA and the organization, visit us on the website at www.gabwa.org. That's just about the time that we have here today. We hope you'll join us on the next edition of Legally Speaking. I'm Sonia Brown.
And I'm Kenya Johnson. Thank you for joining Legally Speaking. We'll see you next time.